What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and why I am actually very bullish going into the rest of the year for this company, why I believe in the next upcoming months we're going to see a very big reversal and Tesla's going to start running very hard, and why I'm very excited for the upcoming months. Now, before I give you guys my forecast for where I see it going for this year and what you should be looking out to, because we do have some major updates coming out for the month of March that are very important for Tesla and the market. And before I say anything about this, I do have to mention the very important things first. As you guys know, I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're not only going to qualify for up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500, but you're also going to have the opportunity to win up to $200,000 as Moomoo giving away 200 grand for the new year. So if you want your chance, guys, please check out the offer down below. And with that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, guys, we've seen this thing just barely holding up about around $800, right? And all these changes are coming because of the global situation has been changing, but I do have some good news for you guys. I believe, and this is going to be my theory for how I see the market moving. I believe that a lot of the changes that people are anticipating for the market are already here. I believe that there's a lot of exaggeration about a market crash. I don't necessarily believe that's going to happen. No, I'm not giving financial advice, right? I'm not trying to, you know, convince you of anything or try to convince your financial decisions, but I'm just going to give you guys what I think is going to happen, right? So what I think is going to happen is the Fed is going to start raising rates in March. I believe it's going to be a 25 basis point rate hike. I don't think that Jerome Powell wants the market to tank. I think he's going to be, as how should I say, he's going to be hawkish, but also a little bit dovish. There's going to be a bit of a change in their balance budget, but I also predict that there's going to be a lack of liquidity in the markets. So there's so much debt right now, right? If you look at the derivatives market, there's like 600 plus trillion dollars. And when you look at all this debt, when you look at all of these crazy things that have been going on in our markets, I believe the lack of liquidity is going to make it very hard for shorts. So the bears, the people that are depending on margin, I see margin getting dried up and margin calls coming relatively soon. My point is, I see a switch coming. So, as you guys know, a stock price is just supply and demand, and it also has to do with who has control. It's like a war between people that are trying to bring stock prices down and others that are trying to bring it up, right? This is like a miniature war. You guys can see right here, the bears had control, they brought Tesla down, and the bulls got some control. Then the bears, like, that's very simple. But what I think is happening is I think a lot of the liquidity of the bears, the people bringing Tesla down, it's starting to dry up. I think the bulls are going to start gaining control very soon because, as you guys know, this thing has been hit very hard. I mean, we went from 1200 all the way down to the 800s, maybe 700 at one point. I mean, that's crazy. So, what I predict is going to happen, and right here, you guys can see the yellow line and the blue line. These are the ones I showed you guys in my previous videos. The yellow line was a more bullish scenario, and the blue line was a more bearish one. I got this part a little bit right, but overall, it's not too correct, right? My opinion has changed a little bit. I am actually bullish going into the market, guys, for the remainder of this year. I don't think we're going to be in a bear market for much longer. What my prediction is that a lot of the changes that people are anticipating are already priced in. I believe that the Russia situation, it's going to cause the market to drop here and there. And what I think is going to happen is it really depends on the extent in which things really escalate. But for me, I think we're going to drop a little bit more for a couple of weeks. But I do presume we're going to recover quickly. I also believe that these whole rate hikes, they're not going to be as severe. And on top of that, they're already priced in based off the way Tesla's moving. That's the way I see it. So what I think is going to happen is the lack of liquidity is going to give these shorts, these people that are trying to bring stock prices down, it's going to give them a hard time. So what I believe is this. I'm going to redraw this path for you guys. Let's just make sure it looks good. Okay. So what I believe is this. I think for the next, I don't know, few months, we're going to kind of trade sideways, maybe descend a little bit. I think Tesla's very close to its bottom. We could trade like this for just a couple of weeks. Then we'll start to run up a little bit. And then Jerome Powell is going to announce raising rates, which is probably going to be a 25% rate hike in my opinion. We're going to drop a little bit, trade sideways like this, right? When the rate hike comes, probably by mid-March, we might start to rally a little bit. People will realize it's kind of priced in. But then what else could happen is it really depends on the whole Ukraine situation, right? So we're probably going to trade a little bit sideways for a little bit of time. But then slowly, once like our economy starts improving, the rate hikes start improving our stock market. Once inflation really starts to get dealt with, inflation is going to show on the chart. And I see Tesla starting to run up, guys, especially as we start heating up, especially by summer. When Tesla has that big announcement about the Gigafactory coming out in Texas, I believe that's around, I forgot, it's going to be around between March and April. I think they have a party planned out in the beginning of April. That's when I see us running a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're back in the 1000s by then, guys. And what else could happen is we get rejected from there. We start another channel, the 900s, kind of like this. There could be another rate hike, but it may not be as severe. Small drop like that. Then all of a sudden, summer comes, May comes, and we start to rally just like this, right? Kind of like that. And then what else could happen is eventually the market's going to start running. I don't think it's going to be as hard, or I'm sorry, as aggressive for a company like Tesla because it's a mega cap. But I feel like a lot of small caps are going to build lots of momentum, and that in turn is going to bring lots more momentum for Tesla too. And this thing is going to start soaring. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. This is just a hypothetical scenario. We'll drop a little bit. We may not break the all-time high that quickly. It may take a few months. We could see lots of sideways action, right? And then what I think could happen is once we get comfortable in that range, there could be more rate hikes, but I don't see those things crashing this market, guys. I also believe that it's an election year. As you guys know, my forecast is we start to run. We may break all-time highs towards, I would say, Q3 or Q4. Q4 comes, and then we start running really hard. Big announcements, boom. Just like that. So just a hypothetical example, right? Just a hypothetical example, but like what I'm saying, guys, the market's like a slingshot. You pull this thing back, it's going to rebound very hard. But the next few months, maybe the next month or two, we could see some sideways action. That's kind of what I see. But I don't see us crashing too much from here, guys. I feel like we already saw our bottom. I don't see us dropping below 700 because we opened at 700 at one point. And this has to do with the Russian bonds market, right? All that money was dried up. So margin calls are getting closer. And I still see a lot of potential for these small caps to run really hard, and the momentum that's built up for that could really help Tesla. Now, we also have some very bullish catalysts. Like I said, the Gigafactory in Texas is going to be massive. They may even announce the opening of the Berlin Gigafactory in a couple of months too. It's going to be huge. So like I said, Tesla's still a baby. It's still a baby. And it's growing really, really fast. Regardless of what happens, I'm super excited. And look, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. It is possible for the opposite to happen. We see even more red, but I don't see it that way. I think that we're already priced in at these levels and we're ready. I think the market is completely oversold. I think that we already saw the effects inflation has had and it's all priced in. I just see, okay, there could be a little bit of downside, right? Maybe a little bit more downside. Sure. That could happen. But I slowly see us coming right back up. And I know that, or at least I presume, that Powell, who tends to be more on the dovish side, is not going to tank the market. I think that he really wants us to stay afloat, and I think that he wants to address inflation without tanking the market. That's the way I see it. I think that there's going to be a lot of psychological play here. And I also think that the majority of investors are anticipating a massive crash. That's why so many people are loading up on puts. But it's not that easy, guys. I really see us seeing a good reversal, and that's just my opinion. It could be totally wrong. I know that, but that's just the way I see things going, and I've not lost any faith. I'm still very, very bullish for the long-term future, regardless of what happens. I can't wait for what the future holds. That's what I have for this one. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. Please have a fantastic rest of the day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.